Hello, everybody, and welcome to this afternoon's session. Just a couple housekeeping items, as I'm sure most of you are aware of. Just when we're doing these sessions virtually, just keep yourselves on mute so we don't disrupt the speaker. That's the easiest way. If you have questions, I'm sure Michelle will give everybody a chance to ask questions at the end. You can unmute yourselves then. There's also a chat function you can use to put your questions in that way. And I've got Michelle's bio here. So Michelle Jacobs is a certified HeartMath practitioner. Michelle has a master's in occupational therapy from Queen's University and a bachelor's in integrative biology from University of Toronto. She is a certified practitioner of the HeartMath Interventions Program and trained in Progressive Goal Attainment Program, Emotional Freedom Technique, and Mindfulness-Based Reduction Program. Her vision is to empower 200 million lives to come from a place of knowing their true value and worth and equip them with the tools to live in the abundance of inner peace and happiness. She is also the author of the book You Are Enough and has been featured on City TV's Breakfast Television. You can follow Michelle on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and visit Rewiring Minds website. And with that, I'll leave it to you, Michelle.
Thank you, Chantel. I love how you just did that part because that's the part where I feel like I'm always very hesitant. So I have a slide on that now I can skip now. So it's amazing. Thank you so much. You know, usually before I begin the sessions, I just always like to get into that state. I think it's part of the mindfulness practice that I do as well. So I just wanted to quickly take everyone through a quick meditation. We can call it a meditation where we just get centered, we just get present, we're letting go of all that busyness, the chaos in our minds. So who's up for that? Just raise your hand, put in your chats. And I just want to say this session is going to be very interactive. So it's not going to be a monologue, it is going to be a dialogue. You'll be doing a lot of self-reflection work as well. So that's one thing I wanted to let everyone know. If you have a piece of paper or your journals or pencils ready, that would be amazing. If not, now is a perfect time to grab a piece of paper. Amazing. So I'll give everybody about 2 minutes to get that. So as everyone's getting that, if whoever is present here, type into the chats one thing you're grateful for today. What is the one thing you're grateful for? I woke up, say Sam. Yes, that's a big one, right? Sometimes we take for granted life for granted. Grateful for family. Yes, yes. Learning. Yes. We're always constantly growing. Amazing, amazing. So let's dive in because I do have a lot of content for everyone, a lot of learning. And so we're going to dive right in. Let's just go into our meditation, just become present. So I'm going to invite you. What we're going to do is it's literally 2-minute technique. And this technique is going to connect you to your heart, because oftentimes we're up here, right? This is where all the chaos happens. So we're just going to be present and we're just going to connect to our hearts as we start this whole session today. So I'm going to invite you to place a hand on your heart if you're comfortable doing that, and just close your eyes. And just set an intention for today. What is it that you want to achieve in the next hour? So just connecting to your hearts, learning how to love yourself fully, practicing compassion for yourself. And see if you can just drop into that heart where you placed your hand. Just feel how that feels. I'm going to invite you to breathe in through your heart and out through your heart. See if you can breathe a little slower, a little deeper. And maybe even add a rhythm to this breathing. Breathing in for 5, breathing out for 5. Just allow your mind to bring up a memory that you hold dearly. Think of all those things you're grateful for. Maybe it was a place you've been to that was beautiful. Maybe it's your fur baby. Maybe it's your children, your family, maybe all the luxuries that you have, safety, security. Just feel grateful in your heart. See if you can feel the feelings of appreciation, love, compassion, kindness, peace. And once you feel that, just hold it in your heart. And whenever you're ready, you may open your eyes. And all it took was 2 minutes. Did anybody experience a sudden shift? Literally in 2 minutes, right? We got ourselves, yeah. It's a powerful, powerful technique. All you did was breathe in through the heart, out through the heart, and just felt those emotions. So this is a really easy technique to do, to get started, to get grounded when you're working, right? When the chaos happens. Now, let's dive right into today's session. This is something, usually you'll find me teaching stress management, anxiety, but today's session is actually one of my dear sessions. It's something I'm very passionate about. It's self-love and self-compassion, because this was an area I struggled with most of my life. So when I discovered this and I discovered how freeing it was, it became my passion. That's why when Chantal discussed the bio, one of my passion is to empower women to come into that space of you are worthy, you are enough. And part of that is self-compassion. So we're going to dive right in. And Chantal, if you could give me the controls for sharing, I think I already do have it, eh?
I think you should be able to share. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. I see it. So I'm just going to, let me know if you can all see my screen. I'm just going to go into the presentation mode.
Yeah, we can see that, Michelle.
Perfect. And I'm just going to make that full screen for everyone. And you know, before I start, just type into the chats. I just want to remind everybody, this is a safe space. And this is something where we're all going to truly open up and get intimate in the next hour, right? If self-love is something you struggle with, or you have moments you struggle with, type into the chat, say yes, yes, right? If that's something you struggle with. Now, as I'm teaching, if there are areas where you are having aha moments, type into the chat, yes, yes, again, right? Where you're like, yes, I connect with that. So I would really love that. Like I said, this is an interactive session. So let's dive right in. So Chantal, you already gave a little description about me. So I'm going to skip this part, but this is my son and my fur baby that I was talking to everyone this morning. He's Max and my son is Aiden. And so let's dive right in. What is compassion? Now, if you looked up in the Webster Dictionary shows compassion. Oh, where's my slide going? Sorry, folks, I'm still trying to figure this out. Okay, there we go. So Webster Dictionary shows compassion's definition as this consciousness of other person's distress, and you have this desire, you want to take away that distress, you want to comfort them, right? So if you use that same definition for what is self-compassion, it would be safe to say it's just that awareness of your own suffering, right? And this desire to take away your own suffering. But what I want to add to that is your desire to take it away with kindness, right? Oftentimes when we are suffering, what tends to happen? We don't want to suffer. We either want to compress it or suppress it, or many of us have critical thoughts about ourselves, critical weight, critical thinking, and we are harsh on ourselves. So very important to remember this kindness piece as we are talking about self-compassion. Oh, my apologies, you guys. I just realized my computer is about to die. And sincere apologies, my cord is downstairs. If you
I guess we lost her that quick. I'm sure she'll be joining again shortly. Maybe while we're waiting, if anyone who didn't get a chance to write in the chat what they're grateful for, you can go ahead and do that. Or like LA, take a water break. Yes, Tracy, I see your comment in the chat. I agree. COVID has had some negative effects, but I think if you look at it the way you have it, I totally agree. And Michelle's just reconnecting here.
Oh my goodness, my apologies, everybody. I was like, how did I source this? And you know what, I have to say, in the past, if this would have happened, after this meeting, I would have been ruminating because I had this thing that I had to always be perfect in the past. And I would have gone, oh my God, how could I have done that? Why was I not prepared, right? Anyone here does that? So now this was sourced. I feel like this was sourced so we can all learn this, right? This is where you get to use your compassion. So if this happens, and let's go back in and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, let me share my screen again. And thank you so much for your patience. And back to our screen. All right. All right. Now, hopefully there won't be any breakdowns. So one of the things, it's so perfect because what I've written here is it has humans. We're not meant to be perfect. We are meant to grow. And it's your imperfection that makes you humans, right? So this is our journey. And in your journey, you're meant to make mistakes. And many of us feel we can't, right? And this is where I have your first self-reflection question. So if you have your journals all ready, I want you to think about, when exactly did you start to believe that you weren't allowed to make mistakes? When was that? Because oftentimes it started in your childhood. If you have a programming, if you are critical of yourself, chances are there was a parent, a mom, dad, a teacher, somebody in your childhood who was critical of you. And you carried that programming. So until the age of 7, it was them who said, hey, why aren't you not doing that? Or you got in trouble every time you did a mistake, right? But after that, it's you who have carried that negative self-talk on. And the only way you can get rid of it is to become aware. You want to shine light into the dark spaces, right? So you want to sit with it and go, oh, this is when I started to believe I couldn't make mistakes, because that's where the power lies. So ask yourself, when did you start to believe you had to be hard on yourself if you made a mistake? Because neither of them are true, right? So I'll give everybody a minute to just reflect. Because remember, be honest. Usually in my other sessions, we don't have the time for it. We do have breakout rooms. So you don't even have to discuss this with anybody else. So be brutally honest. Bring whatever is hiding into surface, because that's how you get to release. And if you're done, just raise a hand. Okay, so if you're done that, let me know if you want me to go back to the old slide, but also ask yourself, what are some of the unkind statements you say to yourself? So I made a list here. Some of these are mine, some of these are from my clients. So there's a list, especially as entrepreneurs, especially when you're on this journey, you may find yourself comparing yourself with other women, comparing to where they are. You might start to feel you're not good enough, and you may even say that to yourself. Oh, I don't have the strengths. I'm not good enough. I'll never get it right. I'm a failure. What is wrong with me? Why is my business taking such a long time to establish? How are the other women doing it? So write down in your journals, because today you get to release that. Today you're going to change that negative self-talk because it's not serving you. The problem is when you are very critical, guess what happens? And if you've attended my other workshop on stress, you see that the negative emotions are what stresses your body. So when you are critical of yourself, you go into shame, you go into guilt, you go into anger. And that doesn't serve you because the part of your brain that is required as entrepreneurs for critical thinking, for that creative, not critical, creative thinking, you don't have access to it when you experience negative emotions. Because when you experience your negative emotions, your body goes into fight, flight, freeze. And you know that technique I taught you guys when we started, that's a powerful technique to reconnect back. And we're going to talk about other techniques too. So yeah, write down what are some of the unkind statements you say to yourself. And please do raise your hand if you are done so I can move to the next slide, but I also don't want to rush you. Okay, perfect. Thank you, LA. Okay, I'm gonna type into, oh, thank you, Tracy. I see you. Cian, I see you. Thank you, thank you. All right, let's move on to the next slide. All right. Now, if you, after today's workshop, now I do talk about self-compassion in the You Are Enough book as well, but self-compassion is one of the chapters. And if you want to go really deep into self-compassion, I highly recommend Kirsten Neff's book as well. The book is on self-compassion. Now, Kirsten Neff, she's a researcher on compassion, and she talks about 3 components of self-compassion. Component number 1 is mindfulness. Now, who here is familiar with mindfulness? Type into the chats because I cannot see okay, I see a few hands. Perfect, perfect. Okay, so for those of you not familiar with mindfulness, mindfulness is just paying attention, but paying attention in a non-judgmental manner, paying attention with kindness. So when you right now did some of your self-awareness activities, exercises, the self-reflection exercise, notice if you had a judgment to those statements you were writing, right? Because when you're practicing mindfulness, you just want to become aware. So awareness looks like this, where you're going, oh, I have been critical of myself. And it's neutral. You're looking at it with kindness. You're not going, how could I be so mean to myself? What's wrong with me? Now that's the judgment part, right? So mindfulness, very important, and you're just observing with kindness without judgment. The second part is common humanity. Guess what? When we suffer, all of us have done it. I have done it. So if you do it too, type in yes, yes into the chats, okay? Common humanity is when we suffer, we think we are the only ones suffering. It's right. When we're suffering, we're like, I'm the only one. Look at that, especially with social media now. You're just looking at everybody's amazing lives, not realizing everyone's got breakdowns, right? Everyone's got breakdowns in their life. And you're going, I'm the only one. And that is false thinking, right? So the second component of self-compassion is to realize common humanity. We all struggle, we all suffer, we all have breakdowns. Third thing, self-kindness. Now, what is self-kindness? Let's go on, because that is very, very important for us to remember. Self-kindness involves you talking to yourself the way you would talk to your friend. So if your best friend was struggling, would you say, hey, you know what? You deserve this. Good for you. You deserve this, right? You wouldn't put your best friend down. So why are you doing it to yourself? Because the journey of entrepreneurship too, if you think about it, I always tell people my entrepreneur journey is my self-growth journey as well. Because as an entrepreneur, when you have your breakdowns, it's a great way to see what areas of my life need breakthroughs, because that breakdown area might be the area you want to work on, because that's where the breakthrough is lying too, right? So always treat yourself, because the journey is hard as entrepreneurs. Sometimes it's also very rewarding, but remember to treat yourself as your best friend, as you would treat your best friend. You are your best friend, right? Let's start there. All right. So now remember we said, let's transform some of the harsh statements we say to ourselves. Here, I gave you some examples of non-judgmental statements you can use when you are struggling. So there's a list here. You may use all of them. if you want to write them down, but pick at least 3 that you resonate with, that the next time you struggle, you're going to use. Okay, I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to do that. And if you're done, type into the chat's done or raise your hand. One of the powerful statements, the statements I love to use is, I'm struggling right now. Just acknowledging that is huge. And you know what else that I find is powerful? It is okay to make mistakes. It is okay. Give yourself permission to grow. Many of us feel this need to be perfect. I know how that feels. I'm a recovering perfectionist, so I know how that feels. But give yourself grace. It's okay to make mistakes. And the third one that I love a lot, because we forget everyone else, forget the common humanity piece. Everyone feels this way sometimes. So when we struggle, we don't isolate ourselves because that's what we. Sorry, is there a question? Just heard somebody. All good? Okay, so I'll give everyone a minute now to pick 3 sentences. Thank you for the yes, yes. I'm just going through our chat. Yes. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. And if everyone is comfortable, type into the chat the one statement that really resonates with you right now. What is the one statement? And it's going to be great. Actually, everybody type into the chats if you can. What is the one statement you're committing to using from today? Because the more you type it out, the more you use it, guess what? The more easier it becomes when you're actually struggling, right? So type into the chats. This is practice. Angie says, I'm going to be kind to myself in this moment. Yes, yes. Powerful, Angie. Thank you for sharing. Tracy said, things happen. Yes, things happen. Every breakdown is an opportunity for a breakthrough, right? Every breakdown. I'm doing the best I can, says LA. Yes. Sam says, it's okay to make mistakes. I'm growing. Yes. Chantel, it's okay to make mistakes. I'm growing. Yes. Tanya says, I'm growing better every day. Yes, that's the journey. It's not about perfection. It's not about arriving. The journey is making the mistake and learning, right? Now, there's another exercise you can use when you are struggling, when you're really struggling and you find it hard to be kind to yourself. Now, this is an exercise we can all do right now. I can guide you through it. So anyone here, when you're doing this exercise, it's great to think of a situation that you're struggling with right now. Everyone here has a situation, raise your hand or yes. Okay, perfect. I see LA. I see Tracy. All right, I see CN. Perfect. All right, so let's do this together, okay? So think of that situation you're struggling with. We're going to do this visualization exercise or meditation, whatever term you choose. Once again, you're just going to close your eyes this time. And as you close your eyes, you're just going to visualize a safe place for you. So for some of you, it might be a beautiful beach. For some of you, it's a beautiful forest, meadow. For some of you, it might be your... Sorry, I'm going to invite everybody to mute. Thank you. And for some of you, it might be your bedroom. So just visualize this safe place and imagine yourself in this safe place. And again, visualize every little detail. The smell, touch, feel that if you're at a beach, feel the sand. Now find yourself a safe place where you can sit down. And think of who's the most compassionate and kind person you know. Now remember, it doesn't even have to be a person you know. It could be God, or it could be whatever you believe in, maybe Mother Teresa, right? It could be anything. Anyone you can connect to as compassionate and kind. Now imagine this person taking a seat next to you. They're by your side. You feel so safe in their presence. Now speak to them. What is bothering you? What are you struggling with right now? What are you feeling? How is the situation draining you? What is it making you feel? Share it all with them. And once you've shared, allow this kind, compassionate person to speak to you. And just notice the words that they say. Maybe they're saying to you, I know you're struggling right now. What else are they saying? You got this. I'm here for you. You're doing the best you can. It's going to be okay. And allow yourself to receive those words. Open your heart and receive. Remember, this is a safe place. You are safe here. Receive the kind words. Maybe you can even visualize them giving you a big hug and saying to you, it's going to be okay. Receive that hug. Receive the love. Take it all in. You are worthy of love. You're worthy of joy. Take it all in. Once you've taken it all in, you can allow this memory or this picture to fade away in your mind's eye. Take a deep breath in when you're ready. Just blow it all out. Take a deep breath in. That's all you're releasing. Just release it. Release all that stress. Let it go. And when you're ready, you can come back to the moment right now. You can open your eyes. And how was that exercise for you? Type into the chats, or if anyone wants to unmute and share, because it can be a powerful exercise, especially when you're going through a struggling period. So if anyone wants to unmute and share, feel free to do that. If you want to type into the chats, feel free to do that. Because remember the common humanity, right? Because we all struggle. CNC is hugely powerful. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Because whenever I struggle, I journal as well. Reassuring, says Chantel. Yeah. And you can do this with journaling too. So what I do is I write down the compassionate person's name and say so and so's voice. So, and then just see what comes out too. So there are many ways to do this, but I do find visualization, if you're starting off, it's very powerful because your mind doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know the difference of something not being real. To the mind, what you just experienced is real, right? So a mind is very powerful. This was challenging for LA, yeah, and some of you might find it challenging because it's very hard for some to do the visualization. And don't worry about it. This is all part of the journey. This is a great place to practice the self-compassion where you're going, okay, this is where I am right now, and that is okay too, right? This is great self-feedback where maybe a few years down the road, you're like, oh, I remember the day when I couldn't visualize, I couldn't connect, and now I can. And maybe this is not the technique that'll work for you. Maybe it's something else. So either way, here's an opportunity to practice self-compassion, accepting yourselves just the way you are. So that brings me to self-love, as you can already see it's up here. Now, self-love is another area that I find many women struggle with. And women, the way we struggle with this, it can be in terms of maybe it's our own bodies that we hate, or it can be the way we are that we don't like, the way we are doing our work, the way we are parenting, any of those areas, right? There are areas where we don't fully love ourselves. And self-love is appreciating yourself fully, knowing you are enough, right? And the main thing about self-love is you're not comparing yourself to others. The person you want to compare yourself is the person you were yesterday, right? This growth journey is about you comparing yourself to how much growth you're achieving every day, not comparing yourself to some other person because that's their journey, right? Everyone's got different set of strengths. Oftentimes, when we don't love ourselves fully, when we're not doing the work, we tend to compare our weakness to someone else's strength. And then the problem is we start to feel as though we can't accomplish things when, you know, that person's strength is very different from what your strengths are. And if you haven't gone on the journey of finding that out, on the journey of accepting yourself fully, because from that love, acceptance is when you discover your true talents, right? So it's very powerful. Sorry, you guys, I need a sip of water. So self-love, I often tell people, and I like to mix it with self-love and self-care. It involves 3 areas: your body, your mind, and your spirit, right? It requires you to invest in all these areas. You want to invest in your body. And what I mean by invest is you want to make time to fueling your body, make time to fueling your mind, make time to fueling your spirit. Because oftentimes when you don't practice self-love, guess what you're doing? You're just giving because somehow you feel like you're not a priority. Remember, you're not putting yourself first. You think somehow you're not worthy of the luxury, worthy of taking a time for yourself. So today in your journals, ask yourself or write down the one thing you're going to commit to today in terms of self-care, right? Because that's part of the self-love journey. What are you going to feel? Are you going to feel your body, mind, or spirit? Ideally, you want to feel all 3, right? And when I say all 3, the examples I can give you is you can start your day by 2 minutes of exercise. Maybe it's just stretching, 2 minutes of journal work, 2 minutes of, I just gave you the meditation that was 2 minutes when we started this, right? And again, it doesn't have to be a whole hour if you don't have the time. You just start with 2 minutes. That's where you get to feel your mind, you feel your spirit, you feel your body, right? So today in the journals right now or in the chats, commit to one activity. And maybe for some of you, it might just be sleeping more. It might be naps. It might be drinking more water because you're not drinking enough. Maybe it is taking time to walk in nature. What is that one activity that you can commit to right now? Type into the chats and write in your journals. LA says committing to opening up my new vacuum and time to have some physical activity. I love it. Yes. Going for a walk, committing to getting outside. Yes, the weather is beautiful, right? And I find going for a walk in nature fuels my mind, body, and spirit. There's 3 in 1 right there. Being present with friends. Yes. Starting to journal. Yes. Yes. Moving the body. Yes. You know, there is this exercise that I make some of my clients do at the end of the session. And what we do is we call it the shamanic shake, where you're literally shaking each part of your body and you're shaking your entire body. And then we break out into dancing. And that's another method, very easy to shift, because when you get into dancing and singing, your body feels safe. Because if a tiger was chasing you, because you know, that's what happens to us when we get into fight and flight, you're in under attack. Well, when you start to dance and sing, your body goes, oh, there's no tiger chasing me. I'm safe because look at me singing and dancing. So one of the easiest way where it can go mind, body, spirit, other than walking, is dancing too. Dancing and singing, you find it switches your nervous system immediately. It's very, very easy to do that one. So if you ever feel stuck, play your loud music, start dancing. Oh yes, a dance break would be fantastic, LA. Yes, if we have a time, we can all do dance break. Next one. Amazing. Thank you so much for tapping into the chats, everybody. All right. I also just wanted to share this. When we don't, and I already covered this a little bit earlier, when we don't practice self-compassion and self-love, we start to depend on our self-esteem to make us feel we are enough. Now, a lot of people, work on, hey, I want to develop my self-esteem. I want to feel confident, but there's a danger to that. And that is what I wanted to show you in the next slide. So what research is finding that if you depend on your self-esteem to make you feel confident, make you feel you are enough, it's not going to work all the time. And it's because self-esteem is founded on comparison. So when you are doing better than someone else, you start to feel great about yourself. And when someone else is doing better and you're not meeting to their standards, guess what? You start to feel not so great. So confidence and worth on a foundation of self-esteem is never going to work because it's not a stable foundation. You want a stable foundation if you want to step into knowing your true worth, knowing you are enough, knowing you are valuable, and not questioning that at all, standing in your power, because you all are powerful. For that, you need a foundation, and it cannot be on self-esteem. It has to be on self-compassion and self-love. All right. Now I want to take you all, I want to share this exercise with you all. So in my book, You Are Enough, I do talk about this hug exercise where we are hugging ourselves. And today I also added a bit of mirror work into it. And I have the statements here. You can write it down. It can help you, just doing these 4 statements when you wake up in the morning, looking in the mirror, or the exercise I'm about to show you. Either way, you can pick this or that. Looking in the mirror or doing that exercise and saying, I love you. I'm proud of you. I forgive you. I commit to. Imagine waking up every morning and doing this. It's powerful. You know what? Try it out for the next 2 weeks and email me and let me know if it has changed your life in any way, okay? But we're going to do this exercise in a meditation format right now, and we're going to all do it together. Every morning, LA asks a question every morning. Yes, every morning. And again, this is not about perfectionism at all. So if you skipped a few mornings, that's okay too. You can do it anytime you want. But ideally, when you do it in the morning, you're setting yourself up for success, to have this day where you are practicing compassion, where you are committing to you, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the meditative way of doing this versus the mirror work, okay? So mirror work, what it means for those of you not familiar, mirror work basically means you're standing in front of the mirror and you're speaking to yourself. So there's a mirror in front of you and you're going, I love you. So I'm going to just use my name. I love you, Michelle. I am proud of you. How many times have you acknowledged your strengths, your accomplishments, right? If you have this mindset that you're not good enough, you're probably always looking for evidence of why you're not good enough and never acknowledge how awesome you truly are, right? You have your strengths. We all do. None of us came to this planet without any strengths. It's time now to be proud of those strengths. So every morning you get to look at yourself and go, I'm proud of you for yada, 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 right? And I forgive you every morning. Maybe it's just one sentence. Maybe there was something that happened yesterday. So for example, if it is me, right, and I'm doing this work right now, and you all know I forgot my cord, I can go, I forgive you for having forgotten the cord, having not charged your computer, right? So it could be anything. It could be as simple as that. you'll be surprised how these little things just accumulate in your body. So it's best to just release it. And then the last statement is, I commit to. So you know how I asked you all to commit to one self-care activity? Maybe it's drinking more water, going out. Every morning, you're going to commit to yourself. I commit to going out for a walk today, because the moment you commit to yourself, the chances of you doing it is very high. All right, so let's actually do the little meditative form of this. Margarita says, I do this already AM and PM. I was taught this in the past. Yeah, it's a very, very powerful exercise, right? Mirror work is very common. A lot of coaches do mirror work because it is so powerful. So what I wanted to teach you is doing the hug exercise, and we're going to put this mirror work statements into it, okay? So what I want everyone to do right now, and as you're doing this, practice mindfulness, which is no judgment, you're just observing. So as you're doing this, see if there is any resistance arising. First things first, you know what? Everyone close your eyes because no one's looking at you. I want to take that away where you don't feel uncomfortable, okay? This is a safe place. So everybody close your eyes and just give yourself a big hug. Just hug yourself. Now just close your eyes and see how that feels. You're just hugging yourself, and I want you all to say, I love you, and whatever your name is. So for me, it is, I love you, Michelle. I love you. Say that. And just notice. Notice, is there resistance? Can you receive that? Or are you resisting that? Does it feel awkward to love yourself? Right? Just notice. Practice mindfulness. And if you find hug really hard to do, you can even place both your hands on your heart. Either way. So keep your eyes closed. Say to yourself, I love you. Noticing what comes up. Maybe there are emotions coming up. Maybe there's resistance coming up. Either way, it's all okay. Now I want you to move on to that next statement. And I want you to say, I'm proud of you. And say two things that you are proud of. Two things that you accomplished in your life. Two of your strengths that you're proud of. Maybe you're a good listener. Maybe you're a great friend. Maybe you achieved an award. Whatever it is, I want you to acknowledge right now the two things, the two strengths. I'm proud of you for. Now with your eyes closed, you're going to forgive yourself. I forgive you for. So maybe there was something that happened recently. Maybe you were late to something. It can be small. Doesn't matter. Just going to say, I forgive you for whatever it is that you want to forgive yourself for. Say it right now. I forgive you for. Now, I commit to you. You can say your own name. Michelle, I commit to you that I will go for a walk today. I commit to you that I'm going to love you more than I have been. I commit to you that I will be kind to you from now on. I commit to you that I'm going to take care of my body, my mind, my spirit from today. I commit to you that I'm going to be gentle. I'm going to practice grace. I commit to. So whatever it is you want to commit to. Now once again, take a deep breath in through your heart and out through your heart. Seeing if you can slow down your breath a little bit more. So breathing a little deeper and a little slower. Once again, connecting to a beautiful place you've been to. Just feeling grateful for that place. Maybe it's a person that you feel grateful for. So think of that person then. Just feel the gratitude. Feel the love, kindness, compassion. Just feel it. Now see if you can radiate all this love, kindness, compassion towards yourself. Just imagine this beam of light coming out of your heart, but it's towards yourself, from your head to your toe, just radiating love, kindness, compassion, peace. And once again, you're just saying, I love you. Maybe you can even add to it, may I be happy. May I be healthy. May I abide in peace. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I abide in peace. Now imagine radiating all this love, gratitude, kindness, compassion out into the world. It's a beam of light, 360-degree. You're just sending out all this love out into the world. And you're just blessing the world, saying, may you all be happy. May you all be healthy. May you all abide in peace. May you all be happy. May you all be healthy. May you all abide in peace. Now take a deep breath in, right into your heart. Just notice how you're feeling right now. Just imagine yourself, you're just radiating all this love, this joy, this peace towards yourself and others. Just feel how that feels. Maybe you feel lighter, or maybe you feel nothing at all. And that's okay too. And whenever you're ready, you may start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Slowly come back to this present moment. And you get to type into the chats again. Type in if you notice any resistance, you notice any shift in your inner state. What did you notice? Share with everyone. Remember, we're in this journey together. What you're probably feeling is what someone else is feeling too. So when you're ready, you may open your eyes. Sam says, I feel peace, relaxed. Elise says resistance, but finally slow down my breathing a bit. Yeah, powerful, powerful. And these are tools you can easily start to do in your own lives. Starting today, starting right now. Commit to practicing self-compassion right now, right? Just make that commitment. All right. Now that brings us to the end of the presentation. I have 10 minutes left if anyone has any questions. Margarita says, thank you, it's a beautiful practice. Thank you, Margarita, I receive. It is a beautiful practice, isn't it? And this practice is life-changing. It truly is, because I remember when I first had my son, Aiden, I didn't do any of this work back then. And this was 8 years ago. And what used to happen is I would lose it on him when I was tired. And I would live in that guilt for days, going, I'm such a bad mom, right? So this practice to me was a game changer. Because now, not only can I show compassion for myself, but the moment I do that, I can also go and speak my heart to the other person and say, you know what, I was wrong and I'm really sorry. But I can't do that till I practice self-compassion, because guess what, when we are critical of ourselves, we go into defense mode. We start to be angry. So we're like, hey, I did it because of you, right? That's the defense mode we pick up when we are critical, because we're already feeling so judgmental of ourselves and we want to protect ourselves from more pain. But if you practice self-compassion, you're going to find it literally changes not only the way you work as an entrepreneur, but also your personal relationships too. It's a game changer. Sam, thank you. Thank you. I receive. Thank you so much. And I've written here if free resources, because I do at this time, I am updating my website. So for a limited time, if you guys want more tools, I do have a stress course on my website that I am giving away for free. So go get it if you like to learn more of stress management techniques. And again, I love connecting with other women. I feel like we're all here to connect, support each other. So if at all you need to chat, I'm here. You can email me at info@rewiringminds.com. I do have a YouTube channel. So if you like meditations or even the self-compassion, I have a whole YouTube, what is it called? A program, a workshop? I don't know what it's called, a video on self-compassion. So check that out too. I always post videos, but I have to admit I'm not very regular with it. It happens once a month. So there is a YouTube channel. It's called Rewiring Minds, but I do post regularly on Rewiring Minds on Instagram. So come follow me and I'll follow you. We'll follow each other if you're on Instagram. Tracy says, thank you, Michelle, very relevant information. Thank you, Tracy, I receive. Thank you so much, everyone. Does anyone have any questions? We have about 10 minutes. LA, thank you, LA, I receive. Thank you so much. Any questions, anybody?
I have one.
No question? Yes. You know what? Let me stop the share so I can see.
You,
who is that?
It's Sean.
Yeah. Sean, sorry.
Oh, don't
your
worry.
Name wrong.
Easy. You suggested the book Self-Compassion. Are there any other resources that you could share with us?
So the self-compassion, okay, I was going to say my book, but I feel like I should be a little humble and not say my book, but I do want to. The book is great and it was a divine download. So that's why I'm very passionate about it, because I was actually working at a clinic at that time as an OT, and I was writing a journal for my clients. And suddenly I felt this download of information. So I opened the Microsoft document and I had this download come through, and I had the chapters and the skeleton. I had to go back and put my story, put the science behind it. But I did have 7 steps of transformation that came through, and its acronym's MIRACLE. Now the C in miracle stands for compassion. So I have a whole chapter on compassion on there, but who I really loved following prior to all this was Kristin Neff. So that is one of the best resources because she solely does research on compassion. So if you go to a website, you know what? Let me see if I can find the website for you. Give me 1 second. So that way you already have it and you can just, because she has tons of research articles on there. Let me get it for you right now. There you go. They have a whole, there you go, Sean. Check out this website. It's powerful. Lot of resources on there. And can we find your book on your website? Yes, you can. And my website is, and right now my website is not fully up, hence the course that's for free and stuff, but I'm super excited by the end of this month, my updated website should be on, and yeah, I'm excited for you all to check it out. There's going to be tons of free stuff on there too. And you can find the book actually on Amazon. You can find it on Barnes & Noble. You can even find it on Chapters. So it's all online. Yeah. Thank you for the question, Sean. Anyone else?
Okay, I
just wanted to say
thank you very much, Michelle, for joining us in that wonderful presentation. I know for me, at least, I felt a lot calmer, at least, and have some practices that I can work on in the morning, and that self-love is so important. So thank you for sharing that with us, and thank you to everybody for coming out today and joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. You know, usually when I end presentations, I like to go around and share one word that we're all feeling. So I want to start off by saying, I feel grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here, bringing your energies. Does anyone else want to unmute since we do have 3 minutes left, and share one word. And you get to pick the next person. Tracy, I see you. Why don't you go first?
Inspired.
Inspired. And you get to pick the next person.
LA.
LA.
Contemplative.
Powerful, powerful. And who do you want to pick, LA?
How about Angie?
Angie.
I too feel very inspired. Thank you.
Thank you. And who do you want to pick, Angie?
Sean. I'll pick Sean.
I feel hopeful.
Hopeful. I love that. That is a powerful word. Thank you for sharing, Sean. Who would you like to pick?
And I will pick Margarita.
Margarita. Oh, you have to unmute yourself, love.
I feel I feel compassionate for all of us, you know, listening to this.
Passion, I love it. Who do you want to pick?
I will pick. Let me see who's on the list here. Marilyn.
Marilyn. Are you there, love?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Hi, Marilyn.
Truly, I had to step away for a second. So what is my question?
You're just sharing one word on how you're feeling right now.
I'm going to say restful, maybe.
Restful.
You know,
Yes.
relaxing, sort of restful. Thank you.
You took time for yourself, right?
Yes.
And that's powerful, you guys. We all have to acknowledge that this was taking time for ourselves. What you just did was self-care practice. Thank you, Marilyn. We have Sam left. Hi, Sam.
Hi, I feel clarity after going through the exercises, a bit clearer in my mind.
Oh, I love that clarity. Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for participating in this activity as well. And thank you so much, Chantel, for having me on here today. So I'm going to just give you back the mic.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Michelle, for that wonderful presentation. And thank you everybody for joining us. And with that, yeah, have a great afternoon. Hopefully we'll see some of you guys again next week at next week's webinars.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.